So before the break, we just went over one variable, right? How to isolate x and why we need to flip the sign, right? When you divide or multiply by negative. So now we are moving on to two variable. Two variable, you will look like this, okay? So of course we cannot isolate the x now, right? Because you also have another variable, right? If you isolate x, you'll have y on the other side. So for this one, instead of solving for x or the y, we will be showing our answer only with the graph, okay? So different from this one. For one variable, you can find the answer by isolating and also show the answer with the graph. But if it's two variable, you can only show the answer with the graph. That's all right? So it should be easier, like less work, right? You don't need to isolate anything. So let's look at the first example here, right? 2x plus y greater or equal to 2, okay? So over here, you have a greater than or equal to greater or equal, okay, to 2. So I'm going to separate into two parts. We'll talk about the equal, okay? 2x plus y equal to 2. And then we'll talk about 2x plus y greater than 2. Right? Combining together, then that will make the question, right? All right, so you can copy this into your box. So we are going to graph both of them, okay? First one is the equal. So when you have an equal, then this is something you learn in grade 10. This is called linear function, right? Let's write that down. Linear function. And then for any linear function, do you remember there's a form that we can use to help us graph quickly? Okay, does anyone remember? You can help us. For linear function, there's a special form. Anyone? It looks kind of like this. Y equals to mx plus, anyone remember?
Isn't it b?
Plus b, yeah. Do you remember the name we call this, Anya?
Is it slope?
Yeah, slope and
I don't know.
okay,
Sorry.
yeah. Thank you.
Intercept.
Y-intercept, very good. Okay, yeah. So you see, if we work all together, we can get the answer. Okay, so this form is called a slope and y-intercept form. Okay, yeah, a little review from before, right? The m is the slope. The b is the y-intercept. Okay, because we're doing the linear, right? So it'll be easier to graph if we know how to change it. Okay, so please copy this down. We're gonna use that form now, okay? So we have 2x plus y equal to 2. I want to change it into y equal mx plus b. Okay, so can everybody please do that? Change this equation into y equal mx plus b and raise your hand, right? Isolate the y. Okay, please isolate the y. So it becomes y equals mx plus b. All right, so Wilson, what's y equals?
Is it like y equals to negative 2x plus 2?
Yeah, very good. Okay, so in this example, what is the slope? Geoffrey,
Slope is 2.
is it a m,
Like
the slope, or the b?
the m is the slope.
So what's the m here?
So it's like negative 2.
Yeah, okay, so slope is -2, and the y-intercept will be the other one, right? Y-intercept will be the 2. Okay, so we can use this to help us do the graph. Anyone has questions so far? Is it going too fast? Tony, how are you doing there?
Good.
Good, okay, understand. So let's draw the y-intercept, okay? So y-intercept of 2 means you have a point here, okay, 2. And then the slope of -2. How do we use the slope to help us graph? Jenny, do you remember?
Was it go down to
Down
or go to the left to or something? I don't remember.
Okay, so yeah, pretty close. Okay, has to do with up and down, left and right. Okay, so let's review that as well, right? So slope, we'll go back to the top here. Slope is rise over run. Okay, so the number on the top tells you to either go up and down. The number at the bottom tells you to run left and right. Okay, so when you have a slope, you need to rewrite it as a fraction first. So Jenny, how do you write this -2 as a fraction?
-2/1.
Yeah, -2/1. Okay, you can put the negative either on the top or bottom. Okay, but you have to choose one side. So now if you put it on the top, because the top number is got to do with up and down. So the top number tells you to go down 2 because it's negative. So we're going down 2. Okay, and then the bottom number, because it's positive, then you have to move to the right by 2. Okay, so something you learned from before. Okay, we're using it now again. Right, so starting from your y-intercept, you need to move down 2, and then, sorry, not right 2, right 1. Did anyone notice the mistake? Okay, right 1. So right 1 will be here. Okay, you can continue the same pattern, down to right 1, down to right 1. Okay, or do the opposite. Up to left 1 if you have the negative at the bottom. Okay, up to left 1, it still stay on this line. Okay, so you get the y-intercept and then just use your slope to get all the points. Now grab a ruler and then we'll connect all the points. This is nothing new so far, shouldn't be, right? This is a review of your grade 10 stuff. So this line is your 2x plus y equal to 2. All right. Okay, so please raise your hand if you wrote down everything up to here so far. Oh, Kat asks us, why do we start on 2 and not starting from 0, 0? Can someone help us with that? How come we started with 2? That's our first point. Where does that come from? Anyone?
Y-intercept.
Very good. Okay, y-intercept. Okay, yeah, you get it from this point. Okay, so from the slope y-intercept form, we can get 1 point, and then from that point, you build on that point, get all other points. Okay, so we got the point. Everyone copied it down. Can you raise your hands? All right. Now let's select a few points, okay? Because before we talk about the greater than 2, okay, we need to have some points. So let's say we have 1 point on the left side, let's say -1, okay? -1, I'll circle it, okay? -1 and 4, right? That looks like a 4, okay? 0, 2, that's our y-intercept, right? And then let's pick another one. Pick this one. Okay, that's 1, 0. Okay. So all these points, they are underlined, right? These ones are underlined. Okay, please write it down. And you can circle those points on the graph as well. So this is when it equals to 2, right? 2x plus y equals to 2. Now, if we look at 2x plus y greater than 2, that means we are looking for points that are not underlined, okay? Not underlined.
Why is y2 for both?
Why is y2 for both? Yeah, you're right. Thank you. Because I'm wrong. All right, 1, 0. You're correct. Okay. Thank you, Barry. Okay, so now let's use the same point. Okay, so for example, if I have x equal to -1 now. Okay, we are now focusing on the inequality. Okay, this yellow highlighted. If I plug in -1 into the x, okay, I'll do it on the side, right? 2 times -1, okay, I put -1 into the x, plus y has to be greater than 2. Okay, let's simplify a little bit. 2 times -1 is -2, right? So -2 plus y has to be greater than 2. Because I plug it in, so there's only one variable now, right? So we could isolate. So if we move the -2 to the right side, you get y is greater than 4. Do we have any questions so far? Can you raise your hand if you understand up to here? So when x is -1, you have y greater than 4. Okay, instead of y equal to 4. Look at the table on the top. Before was y equal to 4, so it's right on the line. But now it's y greater than 4. It's not on the line. Okay, please raise your hand if you get it so far. Okay, I just plug in the x and then solve for y. Okay, Angeline, any questions? Okay, so what does that mean on the graph? Okay, y greater than 4 means the y could be 5, right? Could be 6, could be 7, right? Etc. So if you look at the picture, when y equals to, okay, hold on. Give me 1 second. All right. Okay, so when y equals to 5, I'll use a different color, okay? -1, 5 will be here. This purple point, right? -1, 6 will be this point. -1, 7, -1, 8. So every point there is the answer we want. Okay? So it's not just one single point on the line. It's a lot of points above the line, right? They are not on the line. We are gonna do the same thing for x equal to 0. Do the same thing, okay? We'll do it on the side. Okay, so back to here, right? This time I put x equal to 0. Okay, and then we plug it in. So you get 0 plus y greater than 2. So y greater than 2, okay? Y greater than 2. So it's everything bigger than 2. So y could be 3, right? 4, and so on. So if we look at the picture again, at 0, 2 is on the line, but if it's 0, 3, will be here, 0, 4, 0, 5, 0, 6. So once again, it's everything above the line. Okay, so we can kind of guess for the next point, it should be everything above the line as well. All of those are the answer that makes it greater than 2. Okay, if you're not sure, let's try one last time. Okay, we have x equal to 1. We're gonna plug it in. Okay, we plug in x equal to 1, so you get 2 plus y greater than 2. Move the 2 over, y greater than 0. So greater than 0, so y could be 1, 2, 3, and so on, right? Anything above 0. So you can see the graph. So our answer will have infinite number of points. So to show that, you just do the shading. All of this are your answers, okay? So when they say, please graph your solutions, you need to draw the line and the shading, 2 parts. So you can see that the line, it divides into the upper part and the lower part. It cannot be both sides, okay? It's either greater than or less than, okay? So all you need to do is just test one point. If it works, then that's the side it will work for every other point. Okay, so because we don't want to make the table all the time, right? So all we need to do is just test one point. So what I mean is, after you get the line, right, just pick a point. Okay, we write a test here. For example, I pick 0, 0. Okay, I test 0, 0. 0, 0 is right in the center, right? I throw that point into our inequality. So 2 times x plus y greater than 2. So I plug it in. Okay, 2 times 0 will be 0, right? Plus 0 is still 0. So your left side is 0. Right side is 2. Okay, if you think 0 is bigger than 2, can you raise your hand? Is 0 bigger than 2? 0 is less than 2, right? I'm glad no one raised the hand, okay? So 0 bigger than 2 will be false, right? This point is false. That point is under the line, right? So if that point is false, everything else on the same side will be false. So that means everything on the other side will be the true side. So true. So you will shade the true side. Okay, the side true means it works. True means they are the answers. Okay, so for this question, it has 2 parts. One part is the straight line. The other part is to find out which side you should shade. And you should always shade the true side. Okay, Well, write down the summary first, okay? So step 1 is to draw the equal, right? The part that's equal graph, right? You pretend it's equal first and draw that, okay? Which is the 2x plus y equal to 2, okay? Draw the one that's on the line. After that, you test a point, okay? You test any point that's not on the line, okay? Because you want to pick a side, right? So test a point and then you shade the true side. We'll try one more question, okay? And if you still feel confused, okay, then you can let me know, okay? Maybe the first question is a little bit too much because we spend a lot of time doing the table, okay? But the test point is to do it without using the table, right? Table is to explain how come that side works, okay? But all you need to know is to have one point that works, then every point on the same side will work. Okay, so we're gonna try one question together, all right? Okay, can you raise your hand if you are ready to do the next question? So first you draw and then you test and shade, okay? So basically just two things. All right, Bernice and Tony, are you done copying it? Okay. So we're gonna go over the steps, okay, with this brand new question here. So question A, right? So first step, we want to draw the equal graph, right? This one, it doesn't have any equal sign. So we pretend it's equal first, okay? This one is only looking for the one that's not on the line, right? But we pretend it's equal. 3x plus 2y minus 8 equal to 0. Okay, we're gonna graph this one first. So we know where the boundary is, right? So change to slope by intercept form. Okay, so everyone please do that by yourself. Please isolate y and change to slope by intercept. Okay, once you got that, please raise your hand. Isolate the y. Okay, move the 3x, move the minus 8, and then get rid of the 2. Okay, isolate y. Okay, please raise your hand if you have the slope by intercept form. If you already have the form and you are sure it's correct, you can start a graph, okay? Does anyone have question about how to change to the form? Okay, Henry, any trouble?
No, I'm just still working on it.
Okay. Once you got the form, we can start a graph, okay? Let's check a few answers first, okay, to make sure your forms are right. Isabella, what's your slope y-intercept?
I wrote 2y equals to negative 3x plus 8.
But you still need to isolate a y, so you need to
Oh.
divide by 2. So what do you get?
Is it y equals to negative 3x plus 4? Or
Oh,
do I
yeah.
also have to divide the negative 3x by 2?
That's right, yeah, everything need to divide by 2.
Do I
So,
keep it in fractions?
yeah, leave it in fractions.
So then it's y equals to negative 3x over 2 plus 4.
Yeah, 3x over 2 plus 4. Very good, okay? So what is the slope then, Bernice?
Negative 3/2.
Very good. Okay. And yeah, what is the y-intercept?
The y-intercept. I got the same thing.
What number is the?
Oh, 4.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Y-intercept. Okay, how's the other people doing? Still working on the form? Henry, Tony, Wilson, any questions here?
Oh,
Okay, so please draw the graph now, okay? Use the y-intercept and then count the steps, count the slope to get a line. All right, so once you got the points, because this one, it does not have equal, right? In the question, it doesn't have an equal. So your line, you don't want to include the points on the line. So to show that, you use dashed line, all right? So make sure you write that down. If the question only has inequality, use dashed line. Okay, broken lines instead of a straight line, the line we did before, okay? So the dashed line just means that the points on the graph, the points on the line, we don't want to include that as part of your answers. Okay, so y-intercept is at 4, so you will have a point at 4 first. Okay, and then start count the steps. Once you got the dashed line, please raise your hand. So Tony, do you know how to get other points?
Yeah.
Okay, what steps do you take?
So I just basically just add in a random number, random X number. So like 1, or I just did 2 in this
We,
case.
we don't plug in numbers. We want to use the slope to get the points, no tables.
Oh, then I just roll on, then you can just go down 3
Mhm.
and right 2.
Okay, very good. Yeah, use that way faster. Okay, you don't need to plug in numbers and calculate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you start with the y-intercept. That's why we get the form, right? So we can use the slope to count.
Oh, okay.
So down 3, right 2. Down 3, right 2. Down 3, right 2. Okay, or opposite, up 3, left 2. Remember this one, use dash line. Okay, please raise your hand if you finished already. Finish drawing the dash line. Okay, we don't use solid line because the question does not have equal. If it doesn't have equal, means you don't want the answers that's on the line. Okay, you want to exclude those. So dash line means it's empty there, it's invisible. Okay, if you finish drawing that line, please raise your hand. Okay, so you do not need table value, right? Just use slope and y-intercept. Okay, are you done drawing the line? Please raise your hand. Okay, Wilson and Tony,
Yeah.
are you finished drawing the line?
Yes.
Okay, please raise
Yeah,
your
I
hand.
am.
Yeah. Okay, step 2. Okay, what is step 2 now, Mackenzie? Mackenzie, what is step 2?
Define the other one.
Huh? What other one?
The wait,
We have 2 steps, right? Do you see in the box?
yeah.
Okay, what is step 2?
Oh, so you like plug it in?
Yeah, we need to plug in what?
The point.
Okay, so that we call it a test point. Okay, so usually we can test 0, 0 if it's not on the line. Okay, if 0, 0 is right on the line, you cannot use it to test because it doesn't tell you which side. All right, so you test the point. This one we can use 0, 0, right? 0, 0 is easy to calculate. That's why we pick that. Okay, we pick 0, 0 to test. When you test, you plug it into the question. Okay, the question has 3 times x plus 2y minus 8 greater than 0. Okay, so plug it in. Plug in 0, plug in 0. And you simplify it. Okay, you simplify, 3 times 0 will be 0, right? Plus 2 times 0 is still 0. 0 minus 8 is negative 8. So you have negative 8 greater than 0. Okay, is that statement -8 greater than 0? Is that true or false? Jenny?
False.
Yeah, that one is false, right? -8 is not bigger than 0. We can write false. So if 0, 0 is false, everything on the same side will be false. That means the other side will be the true side. Okay? So you always shade the true side. Okay, so you do the shading like that. Every point that you pick on that side, on the red side, will work. Okay, if you plug it into the inequality, will be true. Okay, so all you need is just 1 point to test it out. If you plug in 0, 0 and it's true, then you shade the side that has 0, 0. Okay, is that clear how the shading works? Okay, it's not flipping the coin to shade, all right? You have to test it. All right, so let's have you try the next question, okay? The next question has fraction, but don't be afraid, right? When you have a fraction, you try to get rid of it by multiplying everything by common denominator. Okay, so get rid of the fraction first, and then the rest will be the same. Okay, you follow the same step, but first you got to get rid of fractions. So we'll check your slope y-intercept form, okay? So please raise your hand once you got your slope y-intercept form. Okay, remember start by multiplying everything by common denominator. Okay, so Tony, what's the common denominator for this one?
24.
Too big. 24 is common denominator. Can you get something lower?
12.
Yeah, 12 will be better. Okay, use 12. Yeah. Everything times 12. And then isolate y. Okay, if you are sure your form is right, you can move on to graphing. Okay. If you have the slope y-intercept form, please raise your hand. Okay, after you multiply by 12, you should have 4x minus 3y equal to 6. Remember, we start by changing into equal, okay? Pretend it's equal for now. But when you are testing, you have to plug it into the question, okay? Are you guys still working on the form? Henry, Kat?
Oh no, sorry, I just forgot to raise my hand.
Okay. Yeah. The form, you should already have the form by now. Okay, if you have the form, please raise your hand. Angeline? Any trouble? Okay. Tony, how about you? Have you got the slope y-intercept form?
I went to the wash.
Okay. All right, let's check the form, okay? Aaron, what's your slope y-intercept form?
My slope is 4/3,
Okay, so 4/3x, and
then the y-intercept is 6.
so plus 6.
Yeah, plus 6.
Okay, anyone else got different?
I got 2.
Plus 2, you mean?
Yes.
Okay. Anyone else?
I got -2.
Minus 2. Okay. So slope are all the same, right? Just the y-intercept, we have a different.
Never mind. I got -2.
Okay, should be -2. Anyone else? And yeah, how about you? What's your y-intercept?
I got 2.
You have +2.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, so important here, okay? If your y-intercept is wrong, your line will be different. Okay, double check. Geoffrey, what about you? What's your y-intercept?
I got -2.
Okay, so about half, huh? Wilson,
I also got -2.
-2. Okay, let's check the step, all right? See which one's right. We move the 4x over, okay? -3y equals to -4x plus 6, right? And then we need to divide by -3. Everything divide by -3.
Oh wait, Jason, I think I got -2 too. I just forgot to divide by -3.
Yeah, okay, so
So I
everything,
got -2.
no problem, okay? So you have to be fair, right? Every term has to divide by -3. So 6 divided by -3 should be -2. So we have our y-intercept now, right? So go on. Try to stay ahead of me, right? Get a graph, do the testing, right? If you finish the shading, okay, please raise your hand. Right, -2 is here. Slope 4/3. So up 4, right 3. Right? Up 4, right 3. Down 4, left 3. This one, it doesn't have equal, right? So you have to do dashed line again. Okay, if you did a solid line, okay, you will get marks off. Be careful. That's a very common mistake, okay? Dashed line. Okay, looks like we can test 0, 0, right? Because it's not on the line. Okay, if you finish the shading, you can raise your hand. Okay, test 0, 0. Is it true or false? Okay, Kat, when you plug in 0, 0, true or false?
False.
False, because what do you get when you plug in 0, 0?
X divided by 3 minus
On the
0.
yeah, on the left side, you get
1/2 and 0.
1/2 is on the right side.
Oh, 0.
Yeah, on the left side will be 0. Okay, you don't need to move anything. You just plug it in and calculate. So after you plug it in, left side is 0, right side is half. So 0 is not bigger than half, right? This one is false. Right, this is false. So if that side is false, that means the other side will be the true side. Okay, if you plug it in and it's true, then you have to shade this side. Okay, if it's true. Okay, but because it's false, you have to shade the other side. Okay, because your answer is always to shade the true side. All right, yeah, I hope that's clear. So if the question has an equal, make sure it's solid line like the example on the top. If it's no equal, use dashed line. Okay, does anyone have questions? So if you haven't handed in the homework, please stay after class to hand it in. Okay, let me check before you go. And then otherwise, other people, you can leave. I will see you guys next week. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
See you. Have a good weekend. Okay, so